Went to a brand new movie franchise ranking video here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dittenberg. Today, I am ranking all four Fantastic Four films, including the brand new MCU film, Fantastic Four First Steps. Welcome back to Max Talks Movies. Here I am, Max Dittenberg. If you're new to the channel, guys, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do these type of movie franchise rankings every single week. Every Monday, I do a box office breakdown show. I do out-of-theater reactions and movie plus TV show reviews. So if you're new to the channel, that is for you. Please consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. Comment down below, what is your ranking of the Fantastic Four films? Which ones do you have nostalgia for that you rewatch? Which ones do you never want to watch again? Let me know. My ranking, it's not the right ranking. It's my ranking, just very subjective. I would love to have a fun conversation with yours down in the comment section down below. And also, guys, please hit the thumbs up button. So this, honestly, guys, was the easiest movie franchise ranking I've ever had putting together as it pertains to ranking movies. This has pretty much been set in stone my entire life. So I have never talked about these movies on this channel, so that's why I'm gonna have some fun. Starting at number 4 for me is 2015's Four Stick, as it's famously known for, because in the marketing they put the 4 right in front of Fantastic, so it makes it look like Four Stick. This is easily going to go down as one of the worst superhero movies of all time. Now, there's some superhero movies, and what I mean by that is also there's so many superhero movies of spin-off movies that are obviously some of the worst movies ever made. But this is such a big brand, and Fox had not touched these films since 2007. They were very much focused on the X-Men side of things, and they try to rejuvenate the franchise with a really good ensemble when you have Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Bell, who are all fantastic actors, have all done amazing things since this movie, and it's very weird to go back and rewatch this movie. But I remember in the theater absolutely hating this movie. I've only seen it one other time, and I was rewatching it to get ready for this video. But this is a really rough watch. You can tell the studio meddling. You can tell how not passionate the person making this movie really was for putting this movie together. It has some really bad CGI, especially the direction they take with Doctor Doom, who's played by Toby Kebbell in this movie. It is embarrassing what they do with Doctor Doom in this film. And while the cast here are all, again, fantastic actors, they just don't really have that great of chemistry together. And again, the people who do have chemistry in real life, obviously Kate Mara and Jamie Bell, met off this movie and are married in real life. They're not the ones supposed to have the great chemistry. You have Kate Mara being the sister of Michael B. Jordan. That relationship with the Storm father never really worked in this movie. Having Reed be a total douchebag in this movie was not a very smart move. And I hate rewatching this movie. And I think it's even more frustrating because I said these are some of the best young actors at the time, especially now. They're all very accomplished actors who've been in some really good stuff over the last decade. So it's a weird watch 10 years later as these four have gone on to do better and bigger things. But this was a huge swing and a miss from Fox at the time. Coming in number 3 for me is 2007's Fantastic Four: The Rise of the Silver Surfer. This movie, again, I grew up with the Fantastic Four films. The first one came out when I was 3, and this one came out when I was 5, and I do actually remember at least seeing this movie in the theater. And I've seen this movie, God, 5 or 6 times since its release. I don't think these Tim Story films are that good, but I do have nostalgia that gets me through this movie. This is a weird watch too, because the film is 90 minutes with credits, and it is really fast paced. Again, the runtime is very quick, but they are doing so many ideas into this movie. We have the introduction of the Silver Surfer. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Bringing Doom back from the first Fantastic Four film. How does he fit into this? The whole first act is sort of revolving around this wedding for Reed and Sue that goes wrong. And plus, you have the inevitable Galactus in this movie. Again, the cast themselves are very good. I like Lawrence Fishburne's voice as the Silver Surfer. I think this character still looks good to this day. I never the big power set that I don't like in this movie is when there's a point in the middle of the film where the characters like they touch each other and they swap powers. So there's a point where Johnny turns into the Thing, and Ben turns into the Human Torch. That bit did not work for me. You have to suspend so much disbelief that the smartest man in the world would completely forget about something and not go after something that's an issue in order to get married. Yes, the marriage between Sue and Reed's important, but Reed disregards so many warning signs, which could have avoided all of the problems of the movie, but instead he has to be an idiot for 5 minutes for this movie to kind of happen. And of course, the Galactus is honestly very offensive to people who care about the character and to comic book fans, as Galactus is not this person who looks very huge. He's like a cloud, a dark cloud in the sky, like a black hole. Really bad stuff with Galactus towards the third act of this movie. So Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer has its moments. The four of them are pretty good together. I like Silver Surfer in this movie, but there's just a lot of too much going on in a very rushed movie. And number two for me is the first, 2005's The Fantastic Four. And again, this movie has all early 2000s nostalgia. If you did not grow up with this era of the Fantastic Four, I'm not sure you're going to think these movies are good. Especially if you're like a kid today. I think the only fun people get out of it is seeing Chris Evans before Captain America. And he is so well cast, in my opinion, in this movie as Johnny Storm. I honestly think this ensemble is great. I think Michael Chiklis and Chris Evans, I think, were the most well cast, but I always liked Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman and Ian Grufford as Mr. Fantastic. I also don't mind Julian McMahon, who now sadly passed away a couple weeks ago. He played Doctor Doom. I thought he did a very good job. The score, I always like a lot. Kerry Washington's in this movie. She's quite good. I do think that out of the movies, they've nailed going to space and what really goes wrong. And I think what this movie also nailed a lot was how hard it was for Ben Grimm to come back after the events. You know, the other three members of the Fantastic Four, they got really cool powers that didn't affect their bodies or their look whatsoever, while Ben turned into a human rock. And it's always really sad when you watch this movie when he tries to return to his wife and his wife leaves him, like is so petrified, doesn't want to talk to him. And then when he saves the day on the bridge, she drops his wedding ring or engagement ring in the middle of the road so he can pick it up. It's actually kind of depressing. He's like, hey, he's like sitting off a bridge as someone's about to like jump. It's like very sad. This movie does not has very early 2000s moments that just don't hit well 20 years later. The Johnny Storm, how do I say this? The X Games element of this movie with he's going on like the motorbikes, hated, really don't think that was well done. Some of the CGI doesn't really look that great. I think Johnny is just not a likable character in these movies. I think Chris Evans makes him as likable as he can with his charisma, but the character on the page is really a cocky douchebag. And you really never believe that him and Sue are brother and sister whatsoever throughout these films. And I do think that's one of the biggest problems holding this one back. So I have some fun with this. I think this is a fine movie. I have enough nostalgia to enjoy it, but I also know this is a very flawed superhero film. And number one for me is easily Fantastic Four: The First Steps from the MCU. This is by far and away the best version of the characters that we have gotten, both from a movie quality perspective, from an acting perspective, and from a world building perspective. I've already done a non-spoiler and spoiler review, but I will say Matt Shakman bringing this retro futuristic vibe and aesthetic to this movie really makes it pop, and it feels different from any other films in this franchise. It also makes it feel very different from all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies as well. I think Evan Moss Backrack was, I think, the best casted, even though I love all four of these castings. He really feels like you can feel like Ben Grimm is underneath the thing the entire movie. I really think Vanessa Kirby carries a lot of the emotional weight of this movie. She's really terrific. Pedro Pascal not being as charismatic as usual, but really putting herself in what's it like being the smartest person in the world, the benefits and the detriments to that. And I also think Joseph Quinn playing a very likable, but also at times cocky, but very funny Giant Storm I like. Silver Surfer and Galactus were done more than justice in this movie after what they were portrayed in 18 years ago, which is weird to say out loud. There's the CGI baby element. Oh, it really did pull me out of this movie in a couple big moments, I will say. But this felt like, for the first time in a long time, peak Marvel, meaning this felt like a Marvel MCU film that was hitting on all cylinders for not just this film, but for the future films. And I really haven't felt that way in probably 6 years. There have been other films like No Way Home and Deadpool Wolverine, but they are very much focused on those stories, not trying to set up future movies in the franchise. This did a really good job feeling like you don't need to watch homework and do homework and make sure you know all these characters, while also getting you excited to see where these characters end up next and future Marvel films. So easily, guys, Fantastic Four First Steps did it justice. Michael Giacchino's score is fantastic. This is a movie I cannot wait to rewatch for years to come. So what is your ranking of the Fantastic Four films? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon on Max Talks Movies.